being part of World Vision has been something very fulfilling para
Mm.
sa akin. And the work that I really put in with World Vision is work that I know my Lola would be proud of. And that's why I love being a partner of World Vision.
Thought provoking conversations with the people shaping our country. We uncover stories behind the headlines with influential voices from the Philippines and beyond. This is Manila Bulletin's The Sit Down.
Welcome to a new episode of The Sit Down. My name is John Legaspi, and joining us today is the star of Encantadia Chronicles Sangre and the upcoming animated film Ella Arcangel, Awit ng Pangil at Kuko. We're pleased to welcome Bianca Umali. Yay!
Mabuhay!
Hi, Bianca.
Hi!
Welcome to The Sit Down. First of all, how are you?
I'm great. Maraming salamat, Manila Bulletin, for having me. And maraming salamat to you, John, for such
Yay!
a wonderful intro.
I'm trying.
Thank you.
Yes,
I'm
so
happy.
I'm really excited to meet you, Bianca. So I'm gonna ask this to you agad-agad na. So what do you think are people's misconception about you?
A lot,
Mm-hmm.
actually. That's such a beautiful
All
question to
right.
ask, but also, I guess isa yan sa mga tanong that has been constant in my life. And I like sharing about it kasi hindi sa lahat ng pagkakataon o hindi sa lahat ng tao ma-explain mo yung sarili mo. In fact, hindi ka rin obligated to explain yourself to other people. But I guess in the time that we have now and in the era that we are in, punong-puno tayo ng misconceptions and misinterpretations and judgments towards other people, especially being on social media,
Mm-hmm.
right? So, ako, ang pinakamadalas na misconceptions about sa akin is, number one is mataray,
Mm-hmm.
masyadong strong, or um, people might tend to get intimidated because of how strong the personality is, or how, because also when I start talking about things that I'm really passionate about, I really do go continue talking all about it, especially when I understand what I'm talking about. And sa piling tao lang kasi ako ganun. I think and I know that most of the misconceptions are coming from me being an introvert,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of ironic being a celebrity, really. But aminado naman ako doon. Like, I'm not the most extroverted person in the room.
Mm-hmm.
I have a limited social battery life to the point that I sometimes in social events, I really need like a 30-minute recharge.
Mm-hmm.
I have to go to the car or go to the restroom and really just breathe and then go back and face the people again. And it's not because I don't want to. It's because I didn't know how to.
Mm-hmm.
Although ako ngayon, yung Bianca Umali today, sitting here in front of you, is really like a 10.0 version na of the Bianca Umali person. Pero lalo dati when I was younger, which is why I'm so used to getting all the misinterpretations
Mm-hmm.
about me. Kasi, yun nga, laging tahimik and I don't have a lot of friends. I mean, now I have my very small circle of people whom I love and I treasure. But dati talagang zero because, yun nga, kagaya ng sinabi ko kanina, hindi dahil sa hindi ko alam kung hindi dahil sa hindi ko gusto. It's because I didn't know how to, because I used to be afraid of people coming from my life story of losing my parents at an early
Mm-hmm.
age. And ang understanding ko nun is that people just disappear ng ganun-ganun lang. And so I was afraid of trusting. I was afraid of getting hurt again. Pero ngayon na tumatanda na ako and life happened,
Mm-hmm.
now I know how to trust people. Now, mas kilala ko na yung sarili ko. And regardless of kung ano yung judgment ng mga tao, I guess I'm at a place wherein as long as I know that I have good intentions, I understand how my lola raised me, at alam ko na wala akong tinatapakang tao, then I know I'm on the right track. I mean, your self-validation is everything that you need and not really what other people has to say about you.
That's nice. Speaking of the things that you are passionate about, I know Encantadia Chronicles Sangre
Yes.
closed like a few months ago, and then you bid
Mm-mm.
farewell to your character Tera
Mm-mm.
few months back. but it's obvious na you have this great love and passion for Tera.
Yeah, oo
What are the
naman.
things that you love about her and about portraying her?
Marami.
Mm.
Actually, yung mga katanungan kapag si Tera yung pinag-uusapan, I can go on and on about
Mhm.
that because yung mabigyang buhay ko si Tera, that was 5 years of my life.
Mhm.
We were taping the show for 3 years. And I was training 2 years before we started taping. And so I dedicated my 5 years of my life into really giving life and loving Tera. Ang paborito ko, at least isa sa
Mm.
paborito ko tungkol kay Tera is yung tapang niya sa pakikipaglaban.
Mhm.
Yung paninindigan niya sa kung ano yung alam niyang tama. Regardless of kung ano yung isipin ng mga tao,
Mhm.
regardless kung whether she gets bullied, whether everyone is against her. In fact, hindi lang basta grupo ng mga tao yung against her
Yeah.
eh. A whole world, a whole dimension was really against some of her beliefs. She was judged for being a half-blood.
Mhm.
She was judged for being isang tao. Pero yun yung paborito ko sa kanya kasi tao siya. Paborito ko kay Tera yung kahinaan niya bilang isang tao kasi yung kahinaan niya na yun din yung kalakasan niya. Hindi ka tao lang. Tao ka. At hindi lahat may puso ng tao na kayang umintindi, kayang makiramdam, at kayang magmahal kahit na gaano kahirap ang mga pagsubok na binabato sa'yo. Yun si Tera.
During those 5 years that you portrayed Tera, what are the lessons that you learned from the character na you're trying to apply in your life today?
Actually, hindi lang siya basta trying to apply.
Mhm.
Masasabi ko, ang biggest takeaway ko sa paggawa ko ng Encantadia Chronicles Sangre ay it's more of the internal breakthroughs that I really learned and the wisdom that I attained throughout creating the show. Overall, malaki yung ipinagpapasalamat namin kasi naging successful yung Sangre para sa mga
Mhm.
manonood na Encantadix. Pero off-cam, I mean, lahat ng nangyari sa amin and the journey that we all went through in the process of creating the show, yun yung hindi mababayaran eh.
Mhm.
Sa sobrang daming pagsubok, sa naging lalim ng pagsasama at yung dami ng natutunan mo,
Mhm.
yun yung hindi ko mapapalitan at hindi ko ipagpapalit. Siguro I would say top most lesson would be patience.
Mhm.
And when you say the word patience, kasi hindi siya gaano, I mean, it's not just about waiting.
Mhm.
It's not just about really saying, okay, maghihintay ako. Like, it takes so much of us, of you, to actually know how to really wait and hold on and have faith and courage and be brave for that one thing that you are hoping for, that
Mhm.
one thing that you are waiting for. Hindi madali mag-antay, but for you to commit into waiting and have faith and pray and know that God will make it happen at the right time, at the right moment. Yun yung pinakamalaking takeaway ko sa Encantadia Chronicles Sangre.
And from performing a fierce character, you're about to step into a new one. Fierce din
Yes.
siya, di ba? So, you're gonna be Ella Arcangel in the animated
Mm.
film Ella Arcangel, Awit ng Pangil.
At
Sorry,
Koko.
Ella Arcangel, Awit ng Pangil at Kuko.
Yes.
Nice. So, what's different from Tera is that si Tera kasi you studied Arnis and it's all
Mhm.
about movement, di ba?
Mhm.
With Ella, it's all about your voice. You're gonna be
Mhm.
portraying through your voice.
Mm.
So, can you tell us ano yung mga bagay na na-discover mo when you had yourself preparing for the role?
Sobrang malaking challenge para sa akin si Ella Arcangel.
Mhm.
Kaya ako rin siya tinanggap because kagaya ng sinabi mo, napakalaki ng difference ng kung paano ang Ella Arcangel at ang Encantadia Chronicle
Mhm.
Sangre. The reason I accepted Ella Arcangel was because this is my first ever full-on Filipino animated
Mhm.
film and my first ever experience to be a legitimate dubbing actor.
Yeah.
Na boses ko lang yung kailangan for the project,
Mhm.
which is very different from acting on TV or in movies.
Mhm.
Kasi kapag uma-acting ka na kita yung itsura mo, it's a different kind of approach
Mhm.
because people get to see the emotions of your face. People
Mm.
get to see your body movement kasabay ng kung ano yung sinasabi mo. So, iba rin yung experience nila nung pagtanggap nila ng emotion as opposed to being just a voice actor. Iba yung pedagogy nun ng
Mm.
pagiging isang voice actor because then it's just your voice. And actually, to act na parang nandito lang yung mic mo is a different challenge. And so that's why, nung tinanggap ko yung Ella Arcangel awit ng Pangil ng Kuko, they wanted me to start right away. But
Mm.
I had to kindly ask the production na to at least give me 1 full week muna. I had to delay my recording days because sabi ko, ayoko po sumalang ng hilaw.
Mm.
So one thing about me when I do work is that I value the process of preparation really more than the final product
Yep.
or being on set itself kasi yung preparation does wonders and it's all about muscle memory and the
Mhm.
knowledge and the research and all that. I really enjoy that process. And so being a dubbing actor or being the voice of Ella really involved allowing myself to start from scratch to really study something na wala akong alam at
Mhm.
all. And that was the exciting part for me. And so I really, together with my creative partner, and we really did look for the right people to sit down with and get a legitimate dubbing actor also.
Mm.
And I really sat down with them for a week. I had to sit down and really study how to act with your voice. Ano yung placement, ano yung
Mhm.
tamang pitch, paano mo malalabas na hindi ikaw si Bianca nagsasalita. Like even if you're using your voice, definitely when they watch the character, hindi siya si Bianca. So, hahanapin mo yung boses nun.
Mhm.
Ang dami, ang lawak niya. And I gave myself 1 whole week of workshops before I really did the actual dubbing process of But it was fun kasi
I bet.
ganda din ng kwento ni Ella. And excited ako na makilala siya ng mga tao kasi si Ella pangkaraniwang bata lang siya
Mhm.
eh. Makikita mo siya baka nga sa kanto makita niya lang si Ella eh. Pero yun yung magic niya. Actually, silang dalawa ni Tera ay may similarity.
Mhm.
At yun ay yung kakaiba sila. And that's why I'm excited.
Can you enlighten us, Bianca? During your training process, what do you usually do? I mean, training for the dubbing.
Yeah.
What do you usually do, and what are the things that you found very challenging?
Everything about it is challenging. Parang I really let myself go into those challenging things. Yung talagang tipong manginginig ako sa kaba.
Mm.
Kasi yun nga kagaya ng I always share this, no. It's that even though we have been or I have been in the industry for years now, I still don't get used to being the center of attention.
Mm.
I still don't get used to a lot of cameras or performing in front of a lot of people. And to be, alam mo yung kapag meron kang inaaral na wala kang alam, yung talagang tanggal lahat ng pride and ng ego mo and like let yourself immerse into that thing that you want to learn. And it makes you a new and different person. It upskills you in so many
Mhm.
ways na yun yung na-attain ko as I studied si Ella Arcangel. Everything about it was challenging because hindi ako singer.
Mm.
Wala akong naiintindihan sa kung ano ba yung tamang placement ng boses. And again, it's different acting with just your voice and acting with your body. And definitely, I'm used to acting with my body. So ito, without it. And so, alam ko, as I started training for it, wala talaga akong confidence to do it. Like, I didn't know how.
Mhm.
And I was training to the point na naiiyak na ako because perfectionist akong tao when it comes to work especially. And so I get frustrated also with myself kapag hindi ko makuha yung expectations ko sa sarili ko. But as the process went on, parang na-realize ko, I have to enjoy this to the maximum because I realized that at the end of the day, it was just me really judging myself and me being the hindrance of having my voice come out fully. Kasi yun din yung isa sa mga challenges ng dubbing parang dahil nga nahihiya ako and because siguro I'm an introvert kaya hindi ako sanay pa na to let my voice out. Ang tendency is pumapasok yung voice ko, like humihina siya, hindi naiintindihan yung sinasabi or nabubulol ako. So, yun yung mga challenges na I had to face and study para mapanindigan ko yung pagbibigay buhay kay Ella. Isang napakagandang proseso siya and I'm excited to really, for people to see her. That's why I'm also proud to be working on this with GMA Pictures and 20 Manila. And I'm also grateful with the people that I really sat down with because I wouldn't be able to attain yung kakayahang bigyan ng buhay si Ella if it weren't for them. I'd like to say hello to Sir J. Cruz, my creative partner, my acting coach, and also si Miss Weng, who is also one of the OG dubbing actors here in the Philippines. I'm grateful to them.
Siguro ano na lang, you mentioned before na parang you wanted to take Ella Arcangel because you wanted to discover your strengths and your weaknesses.
Yeah.
So, what are the strength or the weakness that you discovered upon doing this project?
Yung pagiging perfectionist ko.
That's a strength or that's a weakness?
It's both.
Okay.
With where I am at now in my life, I've learned how to embrace both my light and my shadows. That's what I call them, my strengths and weaknesses. Pag strength mo, light siya. But also at the same time, when you do have light, you have shadows,
Yeah.
right? And yun yung weaknesses ko. But now I realize that when you understand what your weaknesses are or what your shadows are, you have to understand that they're also your strengths. They're also your light if you understand and know how to use them the right way. And so yung pagiging perfectionist ko, I used to be super competitive. Definitely because I know that I am not a perfect person. I'm a constant work in progress. Kahit napaulit-ulit kong sabihin na I've changed and I constantly work on myself, syempre lalabas at lalabas pa rin yung imperfections mo because kasama siya sa pagkatao mo eh. But as I acknowledged all of those, like for example, as I was learning how to voice Ella, yung pagiging perfectionist ko na parang I wanted myself to be perfect for it because una gusto ko mapanindigan si Ella Arcangel. Gusto ko na dahil first project ko to na animated film, definitely I want to do a good job. I want to be perfect in it. Gusto ko na the fact na inaral ko siya para mapatunayan ko na may natutunan ako. Dapat confident ako sa paggawa ko o sa pagsalita ko ng boses, no? But yun nga, like I shared a while ago, because I was putting so much of those upon myself, it was resulting into pressure within the process. And so mas lalong hindi lumalabas yung voice ko. As opposed to I guess it was more in my third or fourth day of workshop when I woke up and I said, Lord, you will not put me here if you think hindi ko kaya.
Mhm.
And I'm grateful for this blessing. And so kung ano man, tatawanan ko na lang yung sarili ko pag nagkamali ako because it's okay. It's part
Mhm.
of the process. And when I started letting go of myself and letting myself be, that's when I know I found Ella. That's when lumabas na yung boses ni Ella. Narinig na namin siya. Naramdaman na namin siya when I was doing um, my run-throughs with a mic, and we would record my voice and we would listen to it. And I would laugh at my voice kasi honestly, hindi talaga ako komportable na napapakinggan ko yung sarili ko.
Mhm.
As an introvert, hindi ako sanay na may kumakausap ako ng tao. And it makes me cringe when I hear my voice. Pero dahil kay Ella, ngayon kaya ko nang pakinggan yung boses ko. Ngayon, alam ko na okay lang magkamali, especially if you're learning something for the first time because
Mhm.
it's your first time. And that's my favorite learning out of it. Kaya ako excited kasi even as I was recording, like, ang sobrang dami kong moments na parang, tinatawanan ko yung sarili ko, umiiyak ako sa booth, I would excuse myself, and I'm grateful for everyone that I worked with on
Mhm.
Ella Arcangel kasi they were also very patient with me and they gave me the creative space that I needed for me to actually be confident in myself.
So, Bianca, apart from being an actress, you're also known for your advocacy work. And to help us discuss more about it, we're pleased to welcome Sir June Godornes, the Resource Development Director of World Vision Philippines. So,
Woohoo!
yes,
Thank you, thank
welcome,
you.
sir, to the sit down. First off, Bianca, you were with World Vision Philippines since 2017, and you've
Yes.
recently renewed your partnership with them.
Mm.
So,
Mm-mm.
throughout those years, it's almost 10 years. So,
Yes.
what have you learned throughout the process of being with World Vision Philippines?
I've learned how to be a person who can love unconditionally
Mhm.
outside of the people who love me.
Mhm.
Um, it's something that I know is purpose driven for me. Because kahit ako hindi ko naman inasahan na magtatagal ako ng almost a decade
Mhm.
with World Vision. And I don't think you stick with things or people that long
Mhm.
if alam mong hindi siya para sa'yo. Being part of World Vision has been something very fulfilling para
Mhm.
sa akin. And the work that I really put in with World Vision is work that I know my Lola would be proud of. And that's why I love being a partner of World Vision. Mm.
Nice. Sir June, being an organization or being part of an organization that is focused on youth development, how do people like Bianca help further World Vision's work or initiatives closer to the youth?
Yeah, it's an honor for us to be partnering with someone like Bianca. No?
Mm.
And so if we rewind to 2017, what that was all about, no? It was a meeting by chance,
Mhm.
no?
Yes.
And apparently from that first meeting, we saw an alignment
Mm.
and we saw open doors, opportunities uh, for us to work together to amplify advocacies for children. So yung boses ni Bianca, it's something very powerful in helping us communicate our advocacies for kids, not just the need but the
Mhm.
solutions. No, and all throughout those years, she's been supportive of the different advocacies, different campaigns of World Vision, making sure that she's there, no, that she's not just on social media,
Mhm.
but in the community. When the volcano erupted, she was there, no, doing relief work, and helping the public know what we were doing so that they can also be part in pitching in helping out. no? Big and small things, no? So, and given her age as well, she's
Mhm.
very young,
Yeah.
no? And especially during that time,
Yes.
you were younger. So I think it resonated to your audience who were of same age, no? And I was surprised when she visited the community. They knew her, you know?
Mhm.
Wala pa, hindi pa nag-start yung ano nun eh, no? Yung show, and they were so excited. I think that's the power of media. That's the
Mhm.
power of social media. And if we put it to good use,
Yes.
then it makes it all worth it, no? You connect the dots and you see how you can amplify hope.
Mm.
Yeah.
I think that's because despair is also all over, no?
Mm.
But we believe hope is stronger.
Oh, that's
Yes.
nice.
Amen.
And for you, Bianca, since 2017, you've done a lot of things to spark hope, di
Mm.
ba? But during your when you renewed your partnership, you mentioned something about fulfilling a personal mission. So can you expound on that? What is your personal mission that you wanted to achieve with World Vision Philippines?
Mm. I believe my personal mission really roots from how my lola raised me.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Again, as I shared so many times already, I lost my parents at an early age.
Mm-hmm.
I lost my mom to breast cancer. I was 5. I lost my dad to a heart attack when I was 10. And since then, I have been with my lola, and I started independently living I was 16. And as the years went by and as I grew older and as my faith grew stronger,
Mm-hmm.
naniniwala ako na kasama ito sa calling ng buhay ko. Yung purpose of how I am able to love more the same way as my lola loved me. Yung lola ko kasi, she took all of us in. Umabot kami na 15 kami mga apo niya sa bahay. And she was raising all of us on her own. And mind you, my lola at that time, she was retired. She lost our lolo. And so she was doing all of these things nang siya lang. At hanggang ngayon, hindi pa rin kami makapaniwala how she was able to send all of us to school, how she was able to feed all of us, and in fact, how she was able to raise,
Mm-hmm.
15 different personalities, different ages, and different generations all on her own. That's why sinasabi ko, siya yung superhero ng buhay ko eh. Siya ang totoong sangre.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt. But it's because siya yung idol ko. That's why I want to do the same.
Mm-hmm.
Kahit na hindi ko kadugo. I always share this when I talk about World Vision, is that with World Vision, I'm given the platform and the opportunity to actually be an ate, not just to my younger cousins at home, but to more children as much as possible, as
Mhm.
much as I could. Alam mo yun? People and children and women in the Philippines or globally even. I have that opportunity to be an ate to more children as I can. And that is what I believe my purpose and my mission is to be able to be God's vessel, to spread hope, to spread awareness, and to be a voice for those who think that for those who think that they do not have a voice. That's what I want to be. That's what I aim to be. Definitely, lahat naman tayo hindi perfect, and definitely with how the world is, kung gaano kasakit yung mundo, let
Mhm.
alone yung nangyayari sa bansa natin, kung gaano kahirap at gaano kasakit. So at the end of the day, you just realize, sino pa bang magtutulungan kundi tayo lang din naman.
Mhm.
And with the opportunities that I have been blessed with, being a public figure, that I know I can use to be a public servant in my own way. You don't have to be legitimately part of politics for you to help or for you to create change or for you to say something, being on social media is already a superpower. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if
Yeah.
you know how to use it the right way,
Yeah.
it's really powerful. And that's what I want to be a part of. That kind of change, that kind of kindness. Yeah.
More recently, you've been part of World Vision's global 6K for water,
Yes.
like in South Korea,
Mm-mm,
right? So you
mm-mm.
went there. Can you tell us what happened there and what did you do? And maybe Sir June, you could tell us more about the initiative then.
Maybe it would be good to talk about the initiative first, Kuya
Yeah.
Sure,
June,
sure.
before we talk about Korea.
Yeah. So, uh, World Vision is it's an international organization, so
Mm-hmm.
it's not just limited to the Philippines. And right now, World Vision is the biggest NGO in providing water access,
Mm-hmm.
no, globally. And it started several years ago when World Vision was doing observing, the practices in other countries, particularly Africa. No?
Mm-hmm.
So in the Philippines, we're more blessed. We have access to water.
Mm-hmm.
Kaya lang hindi nakakarating lahat sa bahay, no?
Mhm.
No, in other areas, in other countries, talagang malayo, no? And in their in the World Vision's research, they were able to count, no, that
Mhm.
it takes about 6 kilometers, no, the global average yun, 6 kilometers for children, no, or even adults to fetch water from the water source pabalik sa community, no. That's why they called it global 6K kasi
Mm.
globally 6 kilometers.
Mm.
They need to travel 6 kilometers just
Approximately.
to get water, no? So and it's already 2026
Mm.
and that is still happening. So the goal is to make water accessible to everyone, no? And in the Philippines there are global geographically isolated areas pa rin,
Mhm.
no? And we're trying to make sure that everyone has access in at home, in schools, no? Even in public utilities, no, na meron siyang access. So I think it was World Vision Korea who really started the campaign, no,
Mhm.
make it a campaign, and challenging the different offices of World Vision to join the campaign, no,
Yeah.
so that we can have more supporters and find more solution to the
Mhm.
issue.
And so that is the reason why we went to Korea. In the Global 6K for Water campaign, one of the activations for the mission is to have the Global 6K run.
Mhm.
And we were able to join Korea, which was why World Vision Philippines flew to Korea to join the run and to represent the Philippines into this mission. Kasi napakalaki rin ng pangangailangan ng bansa natin.
Mhm.
Kung tayo ngang mga mamamayan na mas nakakatanda na, ramdam natin yung problema, ano pa yung mga mas nakakabata sa atin, di ba? In fact, they may not be aware, pero sila talaga yung pinaka-affected more than us because
Mhm.
kinabukasan nila yun eh.
Yeah.
And the reason why I'm also very proud to be part of this mission in my renewal of partnership with World
Mhm.
Vision. Kasi imagine how essential and how basic water is supposed to be in our lives. Dapat pagkagising mo, ang dali lang sana uminom ng tubig, baligo, umihi, or lahat yun, necessity.
Yeah.
It's such a basic need, and yet there are places, there are children who don't have that right
Mhm.
beside them, who don't have that in their homes or in their schools. Imagine they have to walk approximately 6 kilometers just to have access to clean water. And that's what the run is for. It symbolizes actually yung lakad ng mga bata na yun para makakuha ng tubig. That's what the Global 6K run is. World Vision brings together global ambassadors and also partners and sponsors who would like to join us into really spreading awareness and raise funds for these children. Um, to participate into the run. And so parang meron pang you can run 6K,
Mhm.
10K, and also there's a challenge wherein you can run na may bit-bit kang
Galon.
tubig, may bit-bit kang
Mm.
galon, which represents exactly for you to experience ano ba
Mhm.
yung pakiramdam, natatahak ka ng 6 kilometers na may buhat kang tubig. And in fact, dito sa Pilipinas tayo, pag nag-iigib tayo, di ba, may bit-bit tayong timba.
Mm.
Minsan, galon-galon, at hindi lang isang piraso yun.
Mhm.
Syempre, dahil ang layo. Dadamihan mo kasi para sa buong pamilya yun eh. And that's what the global 6K run is for.
I believe this challenge when it comes to access to clean water goes beyond just drinking or hygiene. Diba? So, what are the other things or aspects of a child's life that are being affected when they have to go through approximately 6 kilometers just to get clean water, Sir June?
Well, ang laki nung nung pangangailangan for
Mhm.
water. Sa bahay pa lang yung pagkain, dapat hinuhugasan, ang kamay naghuhugas din. Ang bata bago pumasok sa paaralan dapat naliligo, 'di
Mhm.
ba? Um, hindi gano'n yung reality for a lot
Mhm.
of kids. Ngayon 'pag nando'n ka na sa school and you need to use toilet at
Mhm.
kung walang water, hindi mo puwedeng buhangin lang yung gagamitin mo do'n, 'di ba?
Mm.
Especially kung adolescents na at merong mens, may
Mm.
period yung bata, and they need to wash, they need to clean up. In India, for example, hindi na lang pumapasok yung mga bata, no? So they will, whenever they have their period, they would be absent from school. Why? Because they don't have water in their schools. So and it's not really impossible to solve,
Mm.
no? It takes it really just takes the systems to work together,
Yes.
no?
Mhm.
And I think that's what we're trying to do here, no? Engaging private individuals, no? Public sector, private sector, NGOs, churches, and schools, no? Kasi if we want to change it, no, that's what they call it now, the whole of society
Mhm.
approach. Then everyone could share, could contribute, no, so that we can resolve the matter sooner. Yeah.
Many people want to help, right? I think the problem is they aren't that informed on kung saan napupunta yung help nila.
Mhm.
So when it comes sa World Vision, how does a single child sponsorship program ripple or fix systemic issues or in the community?
Yeah. Yung child sponsorship, like Bianca sa sponsor,
Mhm.
I'm a sponsor. What it does is it pools the resources, no, yung mga donation, so that we can help a community, not
Mm.
just the child but the community itself. Equipping yung community, creating awareness. Yung challenge dyan, behavior change. Ang tagal nun, no? And it takes a lot of years, no, for development to really happen, but it's not impossible. And we've
Mm.
seen it for the past 70 years ng World Vision. We've seen communities na sinustain yung programs na nasimulan, no? And they themselves are sponsoring kids. The families who used to be poor, may kabuhayan na ngayon,
Mhm.
no? And that's the essence of sponsorship. You want at least 1 to 2 kids in a family to finish school, no? And it makes a lot of difference pag may graduate sa isang pamilya. And we all know that as Filipinos.
Yeah.
No? So yun yung
Nababuhat.
essence ng child
Mm.
sponsorship, no? May makatapos, umunlad, makaahon sila sa kahirapan. Yeah, and then it's a ripple effect, no, for everyone in the community.
And I guess also with the system of World Vision, when you become a sponsor,
Mhm.
what you get to appreciate the most is the transparency that you get. Na nakikita mo talaga na napupunta doon sa sinusponsoran mo yung funding that you
Mhm.
give. When you sponsor a child with World Vision, you can write to the
Yeah,
children.
you can meet
You can meet
child.
the child or the family. You can, aside from, the funds that you send, you can send clothes. And actually, na-experience ko yun yung nakapag-exchangean kami ng letters nung
Nung
the child that I
your
sponsor. And now, dalaga na siya. And yun yung masarap sa puso Yung alam mo, yun yung sinasabi ko na I get to be an ate, not just to
Mm.
my younger cousins. imagine itong batang to, she was from Mindanao that time.
Mhm.
And that's far, and you hindi ko siya nakikita in person, but I was able to write a letter and I was able to get a letter in return. And that is what feels good. Kasi alam mo na tama yung napuntahan nung tulong na binibigay mo. Which I guess is one of the biggest questions of our country now, di ba? And that's
Yeah.
what you get with World Vision when we sponsor children.
Thank you.
World Vision is about to celebrate its 70th anniversary next year, 2027. So, for you, Bianca, what legacy do you wish to leave behind while you're with the organization?
Si Ate Bianca,
Mhm.
it's as simple as that. Gusto ko maiwan si Ate Bianca hindi lang din para sa mga bata, kundi para rin kila Kuya Jun, para kay Ate Shawi, para sa mga
Mm.
tao rin sa World Vision. I want them to remember me not just through the missions, but also through our working relationship.
Mhm.
The same way as they take care of me, I also make it a point that I get to care for them as well as I work with them. Because sama-sama namin ginagawa yung mga mission eh. So, hindi mag-work yun kung merong isa sa amin ang napabayaan. And that's the legacy that I want.
Mhm.
Si Ate Bianca sa mga bata at si Ate Bianca sa mga katrabaho.
How about you, Sir June? Locally speaking, what are the most pressing concerns that World Vision Philippines is trying to address in the country?
Yung kasi po parang 70 years
Mhm.
if you look at life now, no? So syempre longer life expectancy, marami ng mga sakit na
Mhm.
nalalampasan natin because of medicine. Pero because of technology, may online exploitation ng mga bata.
Okay.
Sadly.
Sadly.
Mhm.
Merong learning loss from the pandemic and
Mhm.
we're still addressing that until now. And we're excited to work with Manila Bulletin
Thank you so
no,
much for having us.
to address that, no. And yung access sa food, access sa tubig, it's still there, but you're seeing improvements, no. Pero yung issue on mental health
Mm.
is a key priority for our organization. Because of the pandemic din, no, nagkaroon din ng impact doon sa malnutrition, no. So magkakadugtong-dugtong siya, no. Plus Philippines is number 1 sa disaster index,
Mhm.
no. So that's the challenge, no. Whatever we build and put up for developing a community, no, isang bagyo lang, isang bulkan
Mhm.
na wash out na, no. That's why we're teaching resilience, we're teaching climate adaptation, especially to the youth, no.
Yes.
Kasi
Mm.
sila yung pinaka-affected, they're the most vulnerable pagka bigla merong baha, bigla merong lindol. So we're trying to equip them and make sure we're advocating that the systems are in place para ready tayo, no? Kasi it's not a matter of if but when.
Mm, yeah.
Yes.
So this question is for the both of you. So, for a regular Filipino, what is the most practical thing that they can do to help uplift the youth?
Okay. The most practical thing, actually sobrang dami kasi.
Mhm.
It can even be in the simplest thing that you can think of on a
Mhm.
daily basis. Walang tulong ang malaki o maliit. Yung simpleng pag-post sa social media, tulong
Mhm.
yan.
Yeah.
Yung simpleng pag-abot ng tubig sa bata sa kalsada, tulong yan.
Mhm.
When we want to be part of creating change, you don't have to be pressured as to kung ano yung una mong gagawin is something that everyone in the whole world or the whole country can see.
Mhm.
You start with the smallest of things because yung mga maliliit na yun yung nag-grow. And like ako, again, as I mentioned earlier, I'm blessed with a platform. I worked hard to be in the position that I am in right now, and I want to use it the right way. And for me, that's the most practical thing that I can do, um, is to use my voice to spread awareness and to send a message. Ano ba yung kailangan? Ano ba
Mhm.
yung nangyayari? And ano ba yung nakikitang solution na kung paano natin pagtutulong-tulungan? But for the rest of the Filipinos, like it's the simple things. Like it doesn't have to be so big. Even the conversations that you have with your family, isang malaking tulong na rin yun to implement change. Change the way you see your children. Change the way you nurture them. Support them emotionally and mentally, or work together and have family meetings to plan your family, or how will you and your family get to work together para mabuo ninyo yung kinabukasan ng pamilya ninyo. It can be as simple as that. That's how I see it.
Sa akin, idudugtong ko din sa Ate Bianca. Ang challenge ko for the Filipino adults ngayon, no? Para makatulong sila dun sa mga kabataan, be the kuya or the ate that you needed when you were young. No? Lahat tayo, there was a point in our lives na kailangan natin mag-look up to someone, kailangan natin may mag-support sa atin. And ngayong sobrang connected ang mga tao because of social media. It's also the loneliest daw. No? People feel isolated even if they're connected. So, be an ate or be a kuya kahit sa isang bata, no? Na nasa paligid mo. So, yun yung challenge and encouragement ko sa mga kapwa Pinoy natin.
I'm down to my last few questions na. So, if Filipinos want to be part of anything, of any initiative of World Vision Philippines, where should they go? What should they visit?
Social media. Syempre, unahin na natin. You can reach out to World
Mm.
Vision through Instagram, Facebook. We're also on TikTok if you'd like to see more of our videos. Diba? That's World Vision PHL on all social media platforms. You can follow us there. And we also have our website, which is the www.worldvision.ph. .org.ph, where when you go to our website, our different campaigns and even the child sponsorship opportunities are there. So you can visit that, and you may also contact us. Visit na lang kayo sa office para usap tayo. It's so easy to reach out to World Vision. You can reach out through me. I'm here if you'd like. Through Kuya June. But sobrang madali lang.
Okay, for my last question, and this is a running question sa lahat ng episodes ng The Sit Down. So, if you were given a chance to sit down with a person and talk to them, who would it be and why? This is for the both of you guys.
Wow, just one?
Yeah.
Yung pala yun.
Isa lang?
Siguro marami.
Oh my gosh, just one. Lola ko. I always have that opportunity though, but every conversation with her is always a new experience. Can I have 3? Pero ano lang. Parang 3, pero
Go.
single conversation
Go.
lang. Okay. Si God din, parang that would be a wonderful opportunity to get to talk to him and understand how it is, what it means to him, kung ano yung kabutihan at yung power na meron siya. And to learn from him, face to face, And 3rd, isang batang Pilipino. Yung pangkaraniwang bata na nakikita natin sa labas na hindi naman natin araw-araw kayang kausapin, but to have a sit-down episode and, talk ano yung mundo sa mga mata niya. Kasi iba yung mundo sa mata nating mas nakakatanda eh. Pero kung ano yung itsura, ano yung kulay, ano yung pakiramdam ng mundo sa mata ng isang batang Pilipino sa panahon ngayon, that I'm interested to know.
How about you, Sir June?
Dalawa rin. Isang international, isang local.
Yes.
siguro international, isang Anglican priest, no? African Anglican priest, si Desmond Tutu,
Mhm.
no? Na lumaban sa apartheid, no? Nung time nila Nelson Mandela. No? So, sabi niya, sabi niya kasi na you can fight injustice without losing your humanity. No? So,
Wow.
pwede pala yun. Ano?
Mhm.
Ngayon, nung nakita ko yung quote niya na yun, naalala ko si Jose Rizal.
Mm.
No? Na lumaban din sa mga mananakop gamit ang panulat.
Pagsusulat.
No? So, at bata pa siya nun eh.
Yes.
Hindi naman, ako nagsimula ako sa World Vision, Kuya Jun, Tito Jun na ako ngayon.
Kuya Jun ka lang forever.
So, ang sarap sanang malaman na kung paano ba sila nag alam mo yun, lumaban, paano nagsimula yun? Ano yung nag-udyok sa kanila para lumaya yung Pilipinas, no, at ang mga Pilipino. So, yun.
Thank you so much, Bianca and Sir June, for visiting us and sitting down with us. And
Maraming salamat for having us.
Thank you so
Maraming
much.
salamat po.
that's it. Thank you so much for watching this week's episode of The Sit Down. If you want to get involved, become a sponsor, or support their upcoming campaigns, visit World Vision's official platforms today. Your small step can help shape a leader tomorrow. Thank you so much.